Hello guys, welcome to my Twixtor tutorial. I'm going to be showing you guys how I do my Twixtor. It's actually very similar to the way that the law tutorials explains it, and so I'm going to leave that link to watch that video in the description, because I actually just do the first step the same thing, but then I do a little bit after that, which helps my Twixtor warp less. And so basically, before fully watching this video, you're gonna have to watch theirs to understand how I got here and got rid of the still frames. And so yeah, I'll leave a link to that in the description. And so basically after that, you should have the input frame rate as the composition you're working on. Mine is 30 FPS. Oh, forgot to change it. Whoops. Well, it's just probably 23.976. So then 976, and so your image prep should be contrast and edge, frame interp, motion weighted blend. You're warping forward, and so after you do this, you're going to keyframe the first frame and make the speed at 100, and then go after that, you're going to make it 30, because getting rid of still frames speeds it up. So we're going to slow it down. And so as you can see, there's warping in the shoe, and so I'm going to show you guys how you guys can get rid of that. And so you guys can see the warping on the shoe. It's kind of like annoying. And so to get rid of it, we're just going to use something called track points, and I'm going to show you guys how to use it. It's actually quite simple. And so the first thing you're going to need to do when you're using track points is you're going to want to change your displays to source. And so after you do this, it's basically going to show you your clip without the Twixtor actually on. And so this is going to enable you to be able to use track points because you need it off. And so Twixtor Pro enables you to have 12 track points on a clip. You can see P212, and so we're just going to use probably 2 or 3 because there's 2 shoes. And so the way you're going to use track points is you're going to basically just tell Twixtor to track a certain object throughout the clip, and this is going to allow Twixtor to just focus on making it not warp. And so when we turn on the Twixtor output, you can see that the shoe really warps at the tip of it right here, and so that's where we're going to make a track. So we're going to change this back to source, and so right here is where it warps, and so it doesn't really warp right here. So you're going to click the stopwatch for PT use 1 and you're going to keep it on don't use, and then you're going to move 1 forward to where you can see the tip of the shoe, and you're going to change it to main BG layer. And so after you do this, you want to keyframe PT1 position, and so you're going to want to click that little box, and so this is going to give you a crosshair, and you want to just aim your crosshair at where you want it to track. Keep in mind where your track points are, it should typically be at the tip of an edge. This is where it usually warps the most, and so I'm going to keep it like really towards the edge of the shoe. And so what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to move from frame to frame, every frame, and you just want to track point the edge of the shoe, and you want to make sure you don't really move it from anywhere but the edge of the shoe, and you want to keep it as precise as possible for the entire duration of it. And so I'm just going to do that really quickly. And so after you do your first like you click it and then you click your crosshair, you can just use your coordinates to kind of just like make it stay. And then after you're done and your clip turns into a black screen and the scene is over, you want to change your PT1 use to don't use. And so after we do this, I'm going to change my view to fit, and I'm going to turn on the Twixtor output. And as you can see, if you watch the main shoe that we used our track points on, you will see that it does not warp as much as it did, but the second shoe still does because we did not track point it. And so now I'm gonna track point the other shoe now. Work, okay. And this should enable you to make the two shoes little to no warp. As you can see, there's still a little bit of warp. You can use more track points on the same object to make it even less warpy than it was before. And so again, the more accurate your track points are, the less warpy it will be. And so you can do this for anything. If I really wanted to, I can make this jacket less warpy, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to move on. And so the next thing you should know about track points is that it also works for RSMB. So I'm just going to pull up RSMB right now. RSMB Pro. I'm just going to drag that right there. And so when you have this, you will realize that it also has track points. And so what you can do is I'm just going to click the stopwatches on the two track points that we used. And then I'm going to close my kind of effects panel and then reopen it. And as you can see, it shows up the RSMB ones. And what you can do is you can just highlight, click on the use, and this will highlight all the keyframes. And you can just Control C, highlight the RSMB Pro track point 1 use, and you Control V, and the settings will remain the exact same. And you want to kind of like make sure the first keyframe is aligned with your current time position, which is your blue line, when you're copying and pasting. Because say if mine was like right here and the beginning is right there for track point 2 use, and we were to paste it, you could see that the keyframe starts different, and so this will mess up like the way RSMB and the Twixtor cooperate with the track points. And so you want to just do the same thing for all of them. There you go. After you have this, when you play your clip, you should see your track point kind of blurring where you set your track points to. And so adding RSMB will make your pre-render a lot slower, but it really is worth it if you want to have a cleaner, like smoother transitions and remap. And as you can see, you can just mess around with how much it blurs it, and you can see it will really like focus on blurring the shoe. In my opinion, 0.9 is the highest that it should be, and it shouldn't even be at 0.9. When you're using RSMB Pro, it should always be at 0.6 or 7 or 5. And if it's still warpy after that, I recommend using more track points. Or if you already use all your track points, just try to make your track points more accurate. If you guys have any questions about track points, just leave it in the comments below, and I will try to respond to it as soon as possible. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. I hope this helped you guys a lot. Enjoy this, drop a like, and just comment what future tutorials you guys would want to see.